what is the use of BA, I mean BA server, what is the use of presentation, what is the use of Java host, what is the use of scheduler. I will explain each and every one. So basically, this is a server, it's a heart of the OBIEE server. I mean, it's heart of the OBIEE services. Okay, BA server, basically, BA server is used for importing the tables. I mean, I am talking about connectivity to the database. Okay.
Yeah.
How to connect database? By using this BA server, we will connect the database.
Yeah.
Okay. So how to connect? So it's not a, there is a separate tool for this BA server that is called as RPD. Once you install application in your machine, then automatically you will get this folder. Okay. So these are related to OBIEE components. So now if you click on this one, okay, it will open one file. That file related, this is a tool. Basically, this is an administration tool. This tool will work on this server. Okay, BA server.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, this BA server is the heart of, right. So we can create a data model, and we can import the tables, and we can create the data model, and we can pass those objects to the reporters. Okay, creating the reports. So without data model, we cannot create any single report. Right? Is it correct?
Yep.
Yes. Now here, see, already I have opened one RPD. So this is administration tool. I have opened, this is the RPD. Basically, RPD is a rapid file directory or repository or administration. Okay, admin tool. So RPD, basically RPD is used for importing metadata into the. It is used for importing metadata from the database.
Yeah.
Okay. So how to import? How to import tables from the database? There is a connectivity needed, right? We require some connectivity.
Yeah.
So here we need to give the permission, some database credentials here. Okay, so this is a Oracle database. If you click on this database, see here, this is the data source name. Source name is nothing but it's a database name, and in the database,
Username and password.
Username, and this is a password. Okay, by using this credentials, we can import tables.
Yeah.
We can import metadata. So what is the metadata here? Metadata is nothing but the structure of the table.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are not importing any kind of data here. Just we are importing metadata. Okay. So once we import tables, okay. So these are the different types of tables. These are the different types of tables in the database. Just we will import tables here, then we can create the alias tables, and we can give the join conditions. In this RPD, I mean, in this tool, there are 3 layers are there. One is physical layer, second one is BMM layer, third one is presentation layer. 3 layers, it's divided into 3 layers. Okay, each and every layer depends on other layer. Okay. So presentation layer depends on BMM layer. BMM layer depends on physical layer. Physical layer depends on database.
Yes.
Okay. So and also here in physical layer we can give the physical joins. What is the physical join here? So before going to the, so what is the alias table? What is the duplicate table? What is the difference between alias table and duplicate table?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you give me difference?
Alias table. If you want to use like nicknames,
yes,
we can use the keyword as we can, instead of calling the table name every time, we can give a simple name to the table. Then we can call in the subquery.
Right. So basically, a duplicate table is it's act as a other table. For example, this is a table existed in the database. Okay, unfortunately, you are modified this column in the database.
Yeah.
This is the database. You are modified to this. Okay. So what will happen? It will impact on alias table. Alias table will take it as alias table column also modified like this. But when it comes to the duplicate table, the column remains same because duplicate table act as a separate table.
Yes.
Okay. So alias table is depends upon the physical table. Okay.
Yeah.
So we will create the alias tables here and we can give the join conditions. So in these join conditions, there are different types of join conditions are existed. So
Yeah.
there are two join conditions. One is logical join. Second one is physical join. In physical layer, we will implement physical joins. In BMM layer, we will implement logical join. Okay. So what is the logical join? What is the physical join? So physical join, we will give the join condition between the two physical table or two alias table. See,
Yes.
if you right click on this table, so these are the join conditions already existed. So some of the join conditions. Then if you click on this link, see here, this is a join condition. Physically, we are selecting the two columns from two different tables. For
Yes.
that, giving the join condition. So one is dimension table, second one is fact table.
Yeah.
Okay. So here the join is existed physically. Okay. So this is the we will implement in physical layer. Then comes to the logical layer, we will bring what are all the tables existed in the physical layer into the BMM layer. See, this table, right click here, go to new, and here logical table. Okay. One second. Yeah. So this is a fact CRM revenue. If you go to here, this is a logical table. When you are pull the physical table into the BMM layer, that's became a logical table. Okay, logically we are giving the join conditions here. What is the logical join? In this one, right click here, BMM model, and select a table and join. Okay.
Yeah.
So now select any one of the join condition here. Yeah. Here, the joint condition between these two tables, is there expression is there? Here there is no expression. Here the cardinality. The cardinality is nothing but the relationship. The relationship between the two tables, like one to many, two to one, two to many relationship, and also uh, inner join, left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join. We will specify these things. We will specify in BMM layer. So that is called as logical join. Okay, we are not giving the join condition between the two physical columns, two physical tables, and that too using two physical columns. There is no expression here. Just only the cardinality. So this is called as logical join, and also we will create the hierarchy. Uh, this this is the heart of the arc. So BA server is the heart of the application OBI, and here BMM layer is the heart of the administration tool. So once we created this BMM layer, then we will bring these tables. We will divide based upon the subject, based upon the business areas. We will create the presentation. Presentation subject areas. We call it as the subject areas. So presentation basically used for creating the report. Okay. So any questions here?
No, everything is okay.
Okay. So here, this is administration tool. This is a part of BA server.
Where do we type questions? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wh-
Yeah.
Where,
Please.
where do we type in questions?
Sorry, so we are discussing about architecture of OBIEE.
Okay.
Okay, so I am explaining OBIEE contains individual servers, and I am explaining each and every server. Now we are discussing about first server, BI server. So BI server is a administration server. Here we can create the data model for the project. Okay, so for the business we will create the data model. So how to create the data model? So in this RPD we will create the data model. So this is the tool. Once you install application, you will get this tool, administration tool. Okay, so you can create your own RPD, or you can use your existing RPDs in the project, or you will do the customization.
What's RPD?
Sorry, the RPD. So
What's
rapid file
RPD?
repository.
Oh,
So it's
repository.
yeah, repository. It's a metadata layer.
Okay.
Okay.
So metadata layer, you mean the data coming from the database is gonna go into.
Yeah. So coming from the metadata from into the physical layer from the database, we are not connecting business model to database. There is no direct join here. I mean, there is a direct communication through the physical layer only. We can connect. I mean, we will connect it to the data source, different databases.
I'm sorry, I don't get what you're saying. You're saying that, and maybe you had covered this before I joined, and I really apologize. I don't want to waste your time. But I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Are you saying that the data coming from the database is going to go into a staging area, and that's your metadata?
Okay.
I'm kind of
So
lost.
you are talking about the data. Sorry, I mean, you are talking about the data. So I am talking about the metadata. Okay. So there is a difference between data and metadata. We are not importing any data from the database. Just
Okay.
we are importing metadata. So metadata is nothing but the structure of the table.
Okay.
The structure of the table is nothing but table name and the columns and the
Okay.
data. So if you double click on this table, this is the actual table from the database, and if you see here, these are the columns existed in this database.
Okay.
So okay,
Are the
then,
tables joined?
no, it's not joined. So
Okay.
some projects, they will create a joins in the database. We can import. See, we can import with the join conditions and without join conditions.
Okay.
Okay, so if any project created join conditions in the database, okay, so that will give us a lot of issues. That will create a lot of issues when we are loading the data by using ETL, because we will get the constraint errors. Okay, so there are two ways for importing metadata. So now here, so see here, import metadata. So if you connect to the database, okay, once you connect to the database here, it will ask whether you have to import join conditions existed in the database. Okay, so it will ask if the join conditions are existed in the database, you can select that option. Otherwise, you can ignore that option and you can directly select import metadata into the physical layer.
Okay.
So in this physical layer, we will create the alias tables. As for the requirements, we will create the alias tables. I mean, even it is a standard, developer standards for Oracle. As for Oracle, it's a standard, okay, for creating the alias table. So what is the use of creating alias table here? For example, okay, so you have not created alias tables. Okay, think this way. You have only physical table, whatever the existed in the database, just you are imported into physical layer, and you are created a join conditions, and you are implemented BMM layer and presentation layer, and also you are created 100 reports. Okay, so unfortunately one of the main metric column I have modified in the database. Okay, so this is a cost column, right? I have modified this cost column in database. You are created join conditions on this this physical table. What will happen? You have to modify BMM layer, presentation layer, and 100 reports.
So what's BMM? What do you mean by BMM layer?
Yeah, so that's what I will go to that BMM level. So once we completed here join conditions and everything, BMM layer basically used for creating the new columns, creating the new hierarchies, creating the new tables, and join conditions also here. Logically, we will join the join conditions logically. So what is the logical join? What is the physical join? Before going to that, I will explain what is a logical join, what is a physical join. Okay. So physical join, by selecting the table column, I mean primary key column from the dimension table and foreign key from the fact table, we are selecting the columns and giving the join conditions. That is the physical join. See, if you go to the physical diagram, okay, so this is a physical join. You are giving the join conditions by using two physical columns. Okay, so in this layer we will implement the join conditions, physical joins. When comes to the same type of same table, when comes to the BMM layer, logical table, here in the BMM layer all the tables will call it as a logical tables, logical dimension table and logical fact table. And here there are two tables are there. See, here in the physical layer this is a fact table, and when comes to the BMM layer it's divided into dimension table and fact table. Okay, according to the business logic we divided these two. When it comes to the BMM layer, then see here, right click, business diagram, objects and direct. So these are the different join conditions in the BMM layer. See, now here the difference is BMM layer and physical, physical join and logical join. Here we are not seeing any join condition because we are already given join condition in the physical layer. So we are not going to physical join again here. So just we will select the cardinality, the relationship between the dimension table and fact table, and also the type of what type of data you have to show in the report, whether it's a inner by using inner join like equi join and left outer join, right outer join and full outer join. Clear? Any questions?
Yes, you keep saying BMM. What do you mean? Can you define what that means?
BMM means business model and mapping layer.
Okay, so you're saying on the right you have your physical layer, you have all those tables,
right?
And then you have to specify the joins between the tables, and then you have your BMM. Are they the same tables that are coming over to the BMM but presented in a different way? Like you have the fact, and then you have the dimension.
Right. So here, the same table we are dividing into.
Table?
Yeah.
Okay. So this side. Okay. So on the BMM, you don't have to specify the join because the join is already specified on the physical layer.
Right.
So when you bring the data over to the BMM layer, the join is already implied in how the data is presented. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay, so who does the conversion between the physical layer and the BMM? Who's going to take that table? You've taken the table, you've joined the tables, you've extracted your data. So pretty much you would take some data based on the query of the join, you bring them over to the BMM layer. Who is going to convert that physical table to the dimension and the fact table?
So as a developer, as a data model, they will specify. So what are all the descriptive fields in the fact table, then move it to the dimension table, and fact columns like measure columns we will keep in the fact table.
Okay.
Okay. So for example, if you run the query, if you run the report in the front end side, what will happen? It will create a query. It will not create a direct physical query. Okay, so it will create a query based upon the presentation layer. Okay,
Oh, okay.
presentation layer. Then that request will goes to BMM layer, and on top of BMM layer, it will create a query, and then that request will pass to physical layer. On top of physical layer, actual query will build. Then that query will go to the database and fetch the data, and the same way physical layer to BMM, BMM layer to presentation, presentation to
Report.
right. So that
So
is
you
a
have four layers. Four layers. You have the report. The information would then go to the presentation layer. The presentation layer would go to the BMM layer, send a query there. The query
Right.
would then go from the BMM layer to the physical layer, and the
Right.
physical layer would actually pass the actual SQL statements or whatever to go grab the data.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So, but here as a developer, we need to take care of the join conditions in the BMM layer. Okay. So, I mean, automatically the joins are existed, imported into the BMM layer, but we have to take care of the logical join like cardinality, whether it's a, if you want to see the data left using left outer join or right outer join or inner join, equi join. So we have to specify. By default, it's a inner join. Inner join is nothing but equi join.
I don't get that part. I didn't understand it. You're saying that when we bring the data over to the BMM, then we also have to work on the join conditions, right?
Right. Yeah, it's any specific requirement is there, so we have to go for that requirement. Basically, so what is the left outer join? So the equi condition between the dimension table and fact table and the remaining data from the fact table. So I mean, when you are going to the join condition, left outer join, the transactions which are made by a customer, uh, uh, and those values will be displayed in the report, as well as uh, remaining transactions from the fact table that will display in the report. So that is the use of left outer join. In special cases only we will go for the left outer join condition. Yeah. Okay. So, and also we will specify the cardinality. So, you know already I have, if you go to the BMM, then select a table, to click on any join condition, there is no direct, direct physical columns here. Already the join condition is existed between the tables, but if you want to specify left outer join, right outer join as per the requirement, we will set the join condition. It's also a join condition. See, the left outer join will be affected in the SQL, but we are not using the direct to two columns. We are joining logically. So that is the use of BMM layer. And also, if you want to create or if you want to multiply two different metrics into one column, like quantity into unit price into total amount, you can create new columns, new fact columns, and also we can use like calculations here. Okay, so this is a count. See calculation part. So like this we can use in the BMM layer. That is the use of BMM layer. And also hierarchies. Basically, hierarchies for drill down the data from one level to other level. Okay, and we can see the data slice and dice. So that is also we can go for we can create in the BMM layer. Just presentation layer is used uh, for creating the reports in the front end side. It is the visible part. Okay, for the creating the reports, it is the visible part. So that is the use of PM presentation layer. So based upon the business, based upon the business, we will import tables from the BMM layer to presentation layer. Okay, so nothing more than we can do in the presentation layer. Okay. So this is about the RPD, and this backend side, the server, real server will take care of this thing. Then when it comes to the presentation server, basically where we can create the reports by using this server application, we will create the reports. So for this application, there is a URL for this login URL. Say I'm opening one of the URL. So this is a basically this is the host name. This is a port number. Analytics is nothing but creating the reports where we can create the reports. This application will run based upon the presentation server. Okay, so here what are the subject areas existed in the presentation layer? So those subject areas will be visible here. See here, select subject areas. This is a communication area between the BA server, okay, between the BA server and presentation server. Okay, so presentation server will send the request to BA server. BA server in the presentation layer it will take, then goes to BMM layer, then goes to physical layer, then database. Then the similar way, database to physical to BMM and middle layer, and also presentation to report. So this is a communication part. So here we will create the reports by using this subject area. If you click on this one, sorry,
Where this data came from?
came from database. So directly coming from
From
database.
BI server?
Yeah, we are not storing any data in the entire OBIEE. We are not storing any data. Just we are fetching the data from database. And
Okay.
for example, if you run that report twice, okay,
Yeah.
what will happen? It will store in a cache memory. I mean, OBIEE having their own cache. So in that cache, it will store. If you clear the
Okay,
cache,
cache memory. Yeah.
the data from database.
Okay.
Can you
Okay.
please explain the communication route again?
Right. So whatever the subject areas existed here, see in this RPD, these are the subject areas. Okay, so in this presentation layer, so each and every activity, we'll call it as a one subject area. Okay, see here, all these are different subject areas. The communication between the BA server and presentation server. So in this architecture, these are two independent servers, but the communication, see, I want to create a report, but the reporting columns are existed in BA server. How to create a report? I mean, based upon using the columns. So there is a communication between the BA server and presentation server. That communication, that visibility area is okay. So you and analysis. If you click on this analysis, you will get the subject area. Okay, so these are the different subject areas existed in the presentation layer. Okay, whatever the subject areas existed in the presentation layer, all the subject areas will be visible here. Okay, so by if you click on this subject area, and you will get the okay, yeah, I'm going to see a edit database, edit data, edit dashboard.
So presentation server is getting the data from BI server. Is that what you're
Right.
saying?
Yes, the communication. So it will pass the communication to BA server, and it will fetch the data
Yeah.
from the
So
database.
in the BI server we are creating the tables. So that's what the data we are showing on the presentation server.
Yes,
Now we are showing some reports, some analysis reports.
right.
So
Analysis.
this data is stored in the BI server
Yeah,
in the form of table.
in the form of reports.
Yeah, reports.
In the form of reports.
So can you, yeah. You
Yeah,
were talking about some presentation layer, then it goes to the
right,
BMM, and then goes to the physical, and then goes to the database, and then
right.
on its way back. Is that happening in the BI server or in the presentation server?
So it will happen in the BA server.
Okay.
That data will be stored in cache location of BA server.
Okay. What's the link or what's the interaction with the presentation server?
Presentation server, basically we will create the reports.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we will create the reports by using the presentation tables. Okay, see, we will
Which are
create
the
the,
which are the subject areas, right?
yeah, so these are the different subject areas. Okay, so this is a presentation layer. These are the different subject areas. Whatever the subject areas existed in this presentation layer, okay, those subject areas will be visible in uh, here. Okay, so basically, if you want to create a report, okay, so you have to uh, know the columns, right? So where exactly columns are available. So if you don't know the, I mean, if you there is no uh, subject area, okay, so how to create the report? It's not possible, right? So here this is a front end, application front end. In this front end we will create the reports by using the presentation subject areas. The presentation subject areas visible area is analysis. So this is a visible area. If you select this subject area, you will get, so as of now I don't have permissions to log in into this one. So it's saying some permissions issues. Yeah, give me a moment. So just I'm creating a user. Yeah, see here. So just I created one user. So this is a subject area. See here, sample field, and here what are all the tables? Okay, so, and also I will open one more RPD. So again I have opened one more RPD. Okay, so this is a simple RPD. See here, A samples. Okay, so timetable existed here, right? How many columns are there? Calendar date, per name week, per name month, per name here. So these are the columns in this timetable, and also alternate calendar. So these are the columns for creating the reports. The same columns existed here. See here, if you expand this one, calendar date, calendar month. See alternate calendars. Okay, so by using this columns, we will create the report. And see, now select here, go to the fact columns and base facts. So billed quantity and revenue. So these are the metrics. So if you click on results, you will, it will fetch. See here, the back end side, what will happen? The request will goes to this layer. Then BMM, then I will show you the query also. So this is the use of BA presentation server. Okay, creating the report and creating the dashboards, and we will create the we will place the reports, whatever we created reports, into the dashboard, and finally we will give those dashboards to users. Okay, see here, like this we will create the reports. See the back end side, if you click on administration, go to manage sessions. Okay, so back end side, just I ran a query. So this is a query. Okay, see here, per name year, revenue, billed quantity, right? 3 columns. If you want to see the report query, click on view log. See, basically it's created a query based upon the presentation. See, presentation layer, presentation server. Then this is based upon the presentation layer, and the same query it's created based upon the BMM layer. Okay, so actual query filed on database here. Okay, see here, this is a query, physical table. What is a physical table here? This is a physical table. Okay, BA sample is the schema name in the database, and here this is the table name. So this is the alias name in the RPD, and these are all the columns. So this is a join condition. This join condition is existed in which layer? This physical join, right? So this existed in
Physical layer.
the layer. Okay, so finally OBIEE will create a query. Okay, so that query came from presentation like this. This is a way. Last one is this one. So that is the use of presentation server. And here Java host. Java host is nothing but backend side. All the backend side for this application, front end application, Java server will be there. Okay, so this Java server is mainly used for it will run the engine, graphical engine. Okay, it will support to create the reports, front end application. See, all the visible, whatever you are seeing here, application visible, the backend side Java server, Java will create this visibility. Okay, so that is the use of Java. And also if you want to import data into PDF format, okay, so backend side Java code will be run for import into PDF or Excel sheet. Okay, so basically graphical engine, Java engine will run backend side. Cluster control, it will communicate, it will takes the communication between one server and other server. It will pass communication to one server to other server, like presentation to the server. And scheduler, basically scheduler is used to, after creating the reports, if you want to send the report to user email addresses, basically by using scheduler, we will send the reports to user email addresses. So that is the use of scheduler. We can track all the information about the scheduling reports.
For reminders as well.
Sorry?
Can use scheduler for reminders.
Yes, reminders also. See, here, alerts. Okay, so these are the reminder area where we can see all the alerts. Okay, see here, this is alert mail. Okay, so this is the just we learned about OBIEE components. Okay, so these OBIEE components installed in WebLogic server. WebLogic server is the server where we can install too many applications. Applications. So this is the centralized location where we can install applications. So applications are nothing but OBIEE is an application, Primavera is an application, Hyperion is application, and also SOVA, ODI. Okay, so these are the different Oracle applications. We can install all applications in WebLogic domain. So the backend side, if you want to upgrade the server from, upgrade the application from one version to other version, in the WebLogic server, we will do that activity. And also, just now I created users, right? So just now I created one user. So user activities also will create in the WebLogic server. And migrations. For example, if you want to migrate RPD one environment to other environment, or reports one environment to other environment, so we will go for in the WebLogic server. So that is a use of WebLogic server. And also here Office BI, this is a plugin where we can export the data into Excel format. Okay, so like this, so many applications we will install. So this is a use of WebLogic server. So WebLogic server, there is a lot of components are there in WebLogic server, but we cannot use all the servers, all the options for OBIEE. So for OBIEE, migration activities will do, and security implementation, and creating the users, creating the groups, and migrating users one environment to other environment. So this is all about the for example, if you have created any new Java application, then if you want to install application into the server, so in the WebLogic server we can use that option. So and we can deploy new application services. So that is the use of it. The WebLogic domain is a purely administrative. There is no front-end visibility. It's a purely administrative back-end side for OBIEE.
Okay. So there are only two kinds of jobs in this one. One is administration, one is development.
Yeah. So WebLogic domain is a domain where we can install Oracle applications. Oracle applications like OBIEE and also ODI. You know, ODI is a ETL tool, and also Primavera P6 is also a reporting tool, and Hyperion, SOVA, web services. So these are all the different applications. We can install these applications in WebLogic server. This is a centralized location for all the applications. That's what the difference between 10G version and 11G version. In 10G, there is no WebLogic concept. In 11G, so they are introduced WebLogic, and you can install OBIEE on WebLogic.
Okay.
So this is all about the OBIEE.
So can you give me one sample project example how this entire concept works? Suppose if we do one project by using OBIEE, how can we deliver it to the client?
Okay, so I will give that. So here, first thing is we will load the data into warehouse. So after warehouse, our job will come. First thing is we need to import tables from the database to physical layer. Okay. So here, see, this is a ORCL database, and we can create the database, and we can create automatically connection tool will create, and we import metadata and table structures here. I mean, basically we'll import all the physical tables from the database. Okay. Now we will create the alias tables. Okay, for each and every table, we'll create the alias table. So once we create the alias table, we'll give the join conditions between the dimension table and fact table.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is, once we implemented the join conditions, then we'll go to the BMM layer. We'll import all the tables into BMM layer. So like, okay, here we will bring the tables into BMM layer, and here we will divide the dimension tables and fact tables. See here, this is a fact table. The symbol is fact table symbol, and also we will create the hierarchies. Okay, so basically this hierarchy is used for drill down the data from one level to other level. Okay, so this is a normally we will do the projects in the we will do the projects like this only. So this is a development side. Okay, so here once it's completed, so many options are there. We'll create the aggregate tables, and we'll give the join conditions, and I will create the new columns. Okay, see, for example, this is a, okay, see here, this is a customized formula. Okay, so customized formula where it's coming from this column -1. So like this, we will create new columns, new formulas. If any new formulas we need to implement, then we'll create in BMM layer. Then we'll bring all the tables into the subject area. So that is the development part. Once we bring all the tables into presentation, next one is creating the reports.
Yeah.
And initially we won't go for entire project single time. Just will, based upon the availability in the database, the tables, and we fetch those tables into BM physical, then BMM, then presentation. Once it's completed, we'll deploy into the server. Then after that, we will go on adding and modifying. We'll do the modifications in this same RPD.
What's RPD? Reports.
Sorry,
Development.
can you repeat again? Your voice.
RPD. Keep talking about RPD. What's that?
Okay, so RPD is a metadata layer where we can store the metadata. That file is called as a RPD.
Okay, the file extension is called RPD.
Sorry.
You said the file extension is called RPD.
Yeah, the extension of this file. See, there are multiple files are there. See, these are the multiple files. Each and every file is one RPD.
Oh, okay, that's the file type. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so each and every file is contains a the extension of the file is RPD. That is a readable format of OBIEE.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, normally we'll do the development like this. So we won't develop at a time all the project. We'll import some tables, and we'll keep on developing the same RPD, and we'll deploy that RPD into server.
Who will give guidance to develop these kind of tables?
See, as a experience, okay, so we have, I mean, basically, team lead will give the guidance, whether you are a, so you are went to the team lead role, you have to give the these things, but data modeler is different. So that guy is, will give the how join conditions between the tables.
Okay.
So they will see the granularity of the table and whether it's a low level granularity or month level granularity. So they will give the join conditions between the dimension table and fact table.
Yeah. Is it creating alias names compulsory in physical layer?
Yes, compulsory. That's what I'm talking about. Your created data model based upon the physical layer. Unfortunately, your modified single column. What will happen? You have to modify BMM layer, presentation layer, and reports.
Yeah.
If you create, if you modify the same column in the database and physical layer, after creating the alias table, what will happen? Alias table will take care of everything. Okay, no need to modify here. Okay, see for example,
Yeah.
this is the customer. Sorry, this is the offices. Go to layer, physical table. Okay, and also we'll see organization, physical column. Okay, so this is the organization. This is the organization from D30 offices, right? So
Yeah.
we will find physical table. Okay, so this is a physical table. Go to this physical table. So now I have modified this offices. So where is, okay, organization, right? So I have modified this organization to organizations. Okay, right? So if you have created alias table, what will happen in this alias table? See here, organizations. Still, this organization is pointed to same column. See,
Yes.
same column. Even though you are modified the column in the database.
Yes.
So that is the use of alias table.
Okay. So if I want to modify the same table in BMM layer,
BMM layer you can modify. You can modify it. It will not impact to the any other reporting side also. Okay, directly it will take from the physical layer and it's not impacted because if you modified this one to underscore organization type. Okay, the physical column it's organization. Okay, and if you go to the presentation. Okay, see here organization type. It's already modified. Okay, so in the front end side also it will modify. Automatically tool will take care of. But if you modified in the physical layer, everything will display error. Yeah,
so in the physical layer there are two different kinds of tables.
right.
One is
So
main table, the second one is alias table.
alias table and duplicate table.
Okay.
So any other questions?
Oh, that's it. Then what will happen then?
Sorry.
What will happen then? Right. This is the process in the BA administration tool.
In the BA administration tool, then next one, the process is creating the reports like this. So we'll connect it to the front end application and go to the new. Click on new. Okay, so then select the subject areas where, from which subject area you have to create the report. Select the subject area here and create the reports and save the reports and place those reports into dashboard. So finally the visibility is like this. The final visibility is
So this is the kind of work you do in your office?
Yes, the same kind of work. But you have to know each and every option,
Yeah.
how to create the reports and how to implement, how to give the joint conditions. So how, I mean, even the naming conventions. So see here. Finally, we'll create the reports and we'll place those reports into dashboard.
Okay. Then who will take care of these reports? Who
Developer
will
only.
use these reports?
Users will use these reports. They will see the data. They will log in with their own credentials and they will run the reports and they will execute the reports and they will analyze the data.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the delay performance by geography. This is the flights, right? So,
Yes.
in which area the flights are most delaying? Okay, see here, totally 100%. Out of 100%, okay, so South region 40%. In that 40%, in that South region only, East South Central Division, South Atlantic Division, and West South Central Division. So these are the contribution of 40%. Okay, so we will analyze like this data. So number of flights.
Okay.
How many flights data? What is the cost of delay amount?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is about the analysis. So if you click on any, this is the pages. If you click on this page, okay, see here. So if you go to the below 500 miles, so performance, how to delay the performance. Yeah, this is all about the creating the reports and the data model. Backend of this reports is a data model. The data model will create in the R. No, that is an administration tool.
So this is the work of developer, OBIEE developer. So
Yes.
what's the role of administrator?
Yeah, administrator. The role of administrator is deploying this RPD into server and upgradation. For example, one version to other version. Say, if you go to this administration, say this is a 11.1.1.7.1. For example, if you want to upgrade this version to 9.0 or 8.0, so that is the administrator task. And creating the new users, that is administrator task. And if you want to configure LDAP server, so that is also a administrator task. So server maintenance, I mean bounce the services, bound up the services. These are all the administrative tasks.
Yeah.
Installing configurations, those things. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any other questions? So we'll wind up the class.
So that is the demo. That's it for today.
Yeah. Okay.